Eshawn Burgundy. If y'all haven't, go check out his new album, Lost Sheep, man. It go hard. But anywho, what's going on, Set Apart Gardens family, visitors? It seems like it's been a while since I got behind this camera and talked to y'all, man. It's been super busy, but that's neither here nor there. As you can see, we got eggs. You know what I'm saying? I got a total of 3 chickens right now. I got 2 in the coop, and one of them just don't want to obey. She's always escaping, but you know, that just means we got to 4 to 5 more. Once I catch her, she not getting out no more. But anywho, y'all, today I wanted to talk to y'all about this egg crisis, man. And I want to tell you what you can do as far as to offset costs, you know, as far as with eggs and stuff. Now I know, you know, everybody up in arms and, oh, eggs is high and this and that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, what are you doing about it? So that's what I'm here to tell you today, or that's what I'm here to talk to you about today, rather, on how you can solve that problem with just 3, 4, 5, 6 chickens in your backyard. So stay tuned. First, y'all, look at my grapefruit tree. Move, Luna. Look, y'all, she just in the way. Look at my grapefruit tree. Look at these blooms, y'all. This is I want to say ruby red grapefruit. Look at that. My fruit trees are doing good. Banana tree is doing good. Don't mind the background. You know, we got some straightening up to do, but these are my fruit trees. And they are starting to bloom, man. This weather is changing. Look at them. Come on, Luna. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Look at Luna, y'all. Sit. Hey, hey, hey. Good girl, Luna. Y'all see how big she getting? She follow me everywhere. But anywho, you guys, chickens, right? Man, honestly, and I made a video about chickens being the gateway animal into farming, homesteading, because they're really an easy animal to maintain. Or a bird. I mean, they're bird, you know. They're easy to maintain. And I'm gonna put that video, the link to that video up here or up there, wherever. But anywho, you guys, with the eggs and everything like that, you know, with eggs going up, I want to say they call it the egg crisis or whatever the case may be, and I might be a little late, you know, of course. But anywho, literally, I was living in a suburban area when I first started getting into homesteading, right? I had maybe close to an acre total yard, front and back, and that's when I first started keeping chickens, right? And I believe in if you look up your laws, your local zoning laws and stuff like that, they'll tell you exactly how many chickens you're allowed. Now I know usually you're not allowed roosters because of, you know, the noise that they make, but you're usually allowed 5 to 6 hens, some cases 10, depending on where you're at. Where I was when I was living in Virginia, we were allowed 6 hens. And the reason I know it was 6 hens is because when I first started buying chickens, I was just buying a lot of them, and I had maybe like 20. And my neighbors, because my chickens, I would let them, you know, roam and stuff like that, and they would go into the neighbor's yard. And one time, no, not even one time, a couple of times, one of the neighbors, her stupid dog got loose and was killing my chickens. So we you know, we charged her for the chickens that her dog killed, because her dog went in my yard and killed my chickens. And I'm still mad at that, because that's the one who told on me to the I forget, animal control or whoever it is. I don't know. I think it's animal control. They came out and they said, hey, you got too many chickens, blah, blah, blah. Your chicken coop has to be in the backyard. It can't be in the side yard and all that good stuff. So I just said all that to say, look into your laws so you can know how many chickens you can have. But for the most part, it's usually 6, right? And if you can have 6 chickens, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna put a photo right here about how many eggs I was getting a week from just 6 birds, just 6 chickens, 6 hens laying, right? You're getting at least 6 eggs a day, half a dozen a day. That's at least. You could get more. Sometimes a chicken will lay twice in a day. You know what I'm saying? So at least 6 eggs a day, you know, and you multiply that by 7 days. Now, yeah, when it gets cold and stuff, they might slow down a little bit. It just depends. But that's why you got to do your your research on the breeds and stuff that you want to get for chickens. So when it comes to chickens, how do you get started? You can go on a number of websites. Well, first and foremost, there's a plethora of YouTube videos as far as your different breeds, because you have different breeds for different purposes. You have breeds of chicken that are bred specifically for meat, right? Like your Cornish crosses and your Red Ranger broilers. Then you have heavy egg laying chickens, like your Buff Orpingtons, like your God dang, I can't, you got Silkies, you got your Copper Morans. I got a Copper Moran myself. You got your Easter Eggers that lay different colors, right? You got your Isa Browns, you know, so, and you got your Rhode Island Reds. So it just depends on what you want, what color you want. If you want white eggs, they have specific breeds that lay white eggs. If you want brown eggs, like this one, you got specific breeds that lay brown eggs. If you want dark brown eggs, they got specific breeds like Copper Morans that lay dark brown eggs, which I have. And you also have chickens that lay a number of different color eggs, like green, olive, blue. They call them Easter Eggers. I had an Easter Egger, but my dog Chase killed it, unfortunately, because he got off the leash. But anywho, you got different breeds for different purposes. So you can just do a simple Google search. Laying hens, hens that lay brown eggs, hens that lay white eggs, hens that lay blue eggs, whatever the case may be, green eggs. Just do a simple Google search. After you do a Google search and you come up with what breed that you want of hens and how many you want, then now it's time to buy them, right? Well, you got to build your chicken coop first. And if you look over there, that's my chicken coop that I just finished, right? I'm not that good of a builder, y'all, but it'll do the job. You know, I just put 4 corner posts, right? Then, you know, it's probably about 8 by 8, you know what I'm saying? And it's probably 8 foot high, you know, and then you just put your hardware cloth over it. And then I got a actual shelter inside the chicken coop that'll protect them from the rain. I got a roosting area where they can roost, and I got laying boxes in there. And all of this is inexpensive, right? For the material for that chicken coop costs you maybe $100, $150. Maybe let's say $200, right? $200. I mean, but of course you gotta have your tools and all that stuff. But that'll cost you maybe $200. If you got scrap wood already, then you can cut that cost in half. Really, the cost that you're gonna incur is from the hardware cloth, which is pretty pricey. And you know, the hinges for the door and maybe little stuff like that. But anywho, you know, you don't need a big chicken coop. That right there will house 6 chickens easily. That'll house 6 chickens easily. And what I did was I put a deep bedding in there. So I put hay and wood chips down because I want to do a permaculture type system, because my chicken coop is right next to my garden. So with the deep bedding, that allows the chickens to turn it over and create a compost, right? Because they're pooping on it, they're turning it over, and what that's doing is it's allowing that wood chips and that straw and hay to decompose down into compost and rich soil from my garden. And then what I grow from my garden, I can give to my chickens. You see how that works? So that's the deep bedding method. But I say all that to say is you get your chicken coop built. You can buy chicken coops that are already built for like $300-400, right? Especially if you have a small backyard, you can buy a chicken coop off of Amazon and just assemble it and put it together, and that will take care of it. It'll have the nesting boxes already installed in it. It'll have everything you need. That's an easy starter way to do it, right? And you don't need a big backyard. Your backyard can be small. Chickens don't take up that much space. You don't have to spend a lot of money on feed. You can give them your vegetable scraps. You can go buy a bag of feed if you want to, and that bag of feed will last them. 50-pound bag of feed will last them probably close to a month, if not a month, right? For 6 birds, you know what I'm saying? So get your chicken coop built. Once you get your chicken coop built, that's when you order your birds. The thing about this day and age where we live now, in this information age, everything is online. It's a blessing, right? Because why? You can order your birds offline. So you can go to places like McMurray Hatchery. I'll leave a link to all of these different hatcheries below. I personally order from McMurray Hatchery. I love McMurray Hatchery. They are professional. They get your birds to you fast. Out of all the times all of the 5-6 times I've ordered from McMurray Hatchery, and I've had large orders like 50 birds, 100 birds, right? Out of all of that, I maybe had 2 that died in the process. And that's just natural. It's gonna happen, right? Because of the shipping. So McMurray Hatchery is a good one. Meyer Hatchery is a good one. I like Meyer Hatchery as well. You got Meyer, McMurray, and there's one more. I'll leave the links to them below. But you can go online, right, and get your birds. And the good thing about online, and I'm gonna get to actually buying them in person in a minute, but the good thing about online that I like is that you have the selection. They have a wider selection than most feed stores. So you can go in there and literally say, okay, well, I want Copper Morans, or I want Silkies, or I want Easter Eggers, or I want Buff Orpingtons, or I want to create a specific flock. So I want 3 of this breed, 5 of this breed, 10 of this breed, whatever the case may be, or, you know, 6 of this specific breed. I want a rooster. You know what I'm saying? Also, you can do meat birds. But that's the beauty of ordering offline. You can literally put together your flock how you want to put it together, and they'll mail it to you. Now, when they mail it to you, it's gonna go to your post office, right? And then your post office is gonna call you, and it's gonna be loud in the background. You're gonna hear your chicks in the background chirping. But that's how you'll have to go to the post office to pick it up. They will not deliver it to you. So that's the next step, is buying it. Buying your birds, putting your flock together. Now, you could buy them as chicks, or you could buy them as pullets, right? Pullets are a little older than chicks. They're a little bigger, which means that you won't have to wait as long to get eggs, because they typically start laying when they reach maturity. And depending on the breed, the maturity could be later or it could be sooner, right? But typically, you're looking at about 4 or 5 months before they start really laying eggs. 4 or 5, maybe 6 months before they start laying eggs from chicks. You know what I'm saying? But once they start laying eggs, they're gonna continue to lay. And their lifespan is, a chicken can live up to maybe 5 to 10 years. So, and that's not saying you're gonna be getting 5 to 10 years worth of eggs, but that's how long they live. And they could lay up until they get real old, but of course it's gonna slow down. You know what I'm saying? So, that's that, right? You can, you know, put your flock together, and you can put these chickens in your backyard. It'll help if you garden, especially because you can use their manure. You see, there are so many benefits to having chickens, right? There are so many benefits. They'll till your land if you want them to, or they'll just forage. You know, you can throw a little bit of feed out there, but they'll find feed. They'll find little bugs to eat and forage. You see what I'm saying? And water is free. Just buy water for them. Also, food is going to be cheap, because like I said, if you choose not to go the route where you want to buy the manufactured feed that you get from the feed store, then like I said, you could feed them your vegetable scraps. You can feed them a lot of different food scraps, honestly, because chickens will pick anything. Bugs as well. They'll eat bugs and all that good stuff. Also, chickens eat grass too. You know what I'm saying? That's why you get things called pastured poultry, because they do consume grass. Not that much as far as like sheep and stuff and ruminants, but they do. So they're cheap to keep. They're easy to keep, low visibility. You know, make sure you just, you know, you deworm them from time to time. You get some diatomaceous earth. That'll help them out. You know, put some apple cider vinegar in their water every now and then. You know, just to keep them healthy. And make sure they're protected. That's the main thing. Make sure they're protected, that predators can't get to them. Typically, if you live in a suburban area, that you have a high fence anyways. But beware of raccoons, because they will climb those fences and they will get to your chickens. So just make sure that you got something that's safe and secure, that raccoons can't get to them, because I've had a raccoon problem before and I know how it is. Also dogs. If you got a dog, be careful, because if your dog has a high prey drive, they will eat those chickens. I know, because my dog killed 10 of my chickens at one time, which was my fault. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. So literally, that's all you got to do. Do your research. You can order them offline, build your chicken coop, and just set a little small area up in your backyard for your chickens to, you know, have a little area. And for your chicken coop, it's preferred that you buy a chicken coop that has a run attached to it, a chicken run attached to it, because then they won't even have to leave out of that area where you put them in. They'll just roost in that chicken coop and lay in that chicken coop, and then they'll have their little run to go out and scratch and peck and all that different stuff. right? So it's literally as easy as that. And you get 6 chickens, 5 to 6 chickens. I mean, yeah, 5 to 6 laying hens. That's gonna give you at least 5 eggs a day. 5 eggs a day is plenty enough to feed a family of 5, 6, 7, how many ever. Because I'm pretty sure y'all not eating eggs every day, but you're gonna be getting eggs every day. So you're gonna be able to accumulate a lot of eggs. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? That cuts down on your grocery bill, because you don't have to go spend $10 for a dozen of eggs, or $9, how much ever it was. I don't know, because I got my own eggs. You see what I'm saying? But this is what it's about, self-sufficiency. I'm gonna tell you, in the 1940s, in the 1930s, I can specifically attest to this because it was in my family. My grandfolks did it. Most people, especially most black people, had a chicken coop and a turkey coop in their backyard, and a garden, at the very least. And this might be for all races of people, especially coming out of the Depression era. Those people, the older generations, they had, hey, stop nipping at me, girl. She nippy, she at that age where she teething. But anywho, back in those days, at the very minimum, they had a chicken coop in their backyard in the garden. My great-grandfather had it, my great-grandmother had it, my grandmother had it. You see what I'm saying? And they didn't have to go to the store for certain things like vegetables and eggs, you know, and fruit. They had fruit trees. You know, they knew how to grow their own stuff. A lot of them kept hogs, a lot of them kept, you know, goats or whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying all that to say, there's a lot of things that we can do even if we don't have as much space. Now, as far as apartments, I don't know what to tell you about apartments and condos and all that type of stuff. But if you have a house with a backyard, go buy you 6 chickens. I promise you, it won't cost you much. But it'll save you a lot. That's the thing. It won't cost you much, but it'll save you a lot. And guess what? If you got 6 chickens and as they get older and they slow down on land, you could buy some more, and you can go ahead and put those hens in the freezer and stew them down and make you know, a nice dish with them. See what I'm saying? So that's all I want to come to y'all and tell y'all, man, because there are solutions to the problems, and the solution to this problem with eggs and stuff like that and the inflation is self-sufficiency to offset the cost. I just butchered a lamb. I shared the picture on the community page, but I just butchered a lamb, you know, because she was having some trouble. She had overeaten, she had bloat. So anyways, I went on ahead and called her, but she's in my freezer now. Now I got lamb for the next, you know, couple of months in my freezer. I won't have to go to the store and buy a lot of red meat. Hush, Chase. Look at Chase, y'all. He getting big too. And Chase and Luna are getting along very well. I'm not keeping her back there with him full time just yet because she's still too small and he plays a little too rough, but they're getting along. But anywho, you guys, oh, look at the beautiful flowers, y'all. I love springtime. It's blooming. Everything's beautiful, it's warm, you know, and we just having a good time. But that's what you can do. That's the solution to this problem, to this egg crisis. Get you 6 chickens, create your own flock. You can order them offline, or you can go into the Tractor Supply or your feed store. And they sell chickens around this time of the year. They have chicks that you can go in there and buy. And you can pick out your chicks, pick out 6 of them. They'll send you out the door with a little box, and they'll be chirping. And then you get home and you put them in a brooder. And you can make a brooder out of a little, you know, clothes bin with some hay and or wood chips or whatever, cedar, pine shavings, and a heat lamp. Simple as that, up until they're able to go out into their regular chicken coop. So that's what it's about, y'all. That's the answer to this problem. Get you 6 chicks, become self-sufficient, and you won't have to worry about the cost of eggs because you'll be having your own eggs for free. It don't cost you much, but it'll benefit you a lot. I want to say, if you give somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. Peace and blessings.
Bombs over Baghdad really ain't that bad. Little wiretap, yes, yes. Little dodge in the IRS. Little haven from the tax man.